Alec, welcome back to the fantastic wizarding world of Shrek. I think I said
Threat,
wizarding world before too.
Threck the Sherd. That's what we're
Oh,
talking about today. We're talking about Threck the Sherd.
yes, as part of Shrek: The Ultimate Collection. I wish I had
Shrek.
each individual one to show, but
I rented this for $3.99 on YouTube.
worth it.
Mm, I mean, it's worth it for us talking about it.
It was worth it
It's
for
worth
this
it's worth
experience
it.
right
It's worth
here.
it for talking about it with my friend Zach. I like that a lot. That's one of my favorite things about that
All right,
about
I
it.
feel like we reached the peak last week, and now we're going downhill with Shrek the Third.
Yeah, pretty quick. I don't think I laughed one time in this entire movie.
Yeah, I was thinking. I laughed once, I think, and I think it was not even like from what they were intending. It was just like I don't know exactly what it was, but more
Yeah,
laughing at it than with it.
yeah. I this movie was weird because so I think I found the most parallels with the first Shrek, like in terms of not in terms of necessarily like it being a simple plot because it is all over the place. It is just all over the place. It's kind of a mess, but um, more of like the way, particularly the way like the last act of the movie happens, feels very like Shrek One, where it's like you have like the two characters go their separate ways and an emotional song plays that I felt absolutely nothing for in this movie at all. Like at
Right.
all, I felt nothing. Whereas in the first one, it's like it's Hallelujah, so it feels like a meme, but at least you can understand like the you understand what the characters are sort of going through at the moment. So
Hmm.
it's like, yeah,
So I'm sure you were happy in the beginning of the movie when John Cleese's character croaks actually,
Croaks, ha ha ha, ho.
and he's just out.
No, because he was the best character of the first movie, of the second movie. Um, So one of the dumbest in a movie filled with really really dumb scenes. One of the stupidest scenes in the whole movie was his death scene because it was like they do the like gotcha, he's not dead 3 times in a row,
They do. They do.
and the scene goes on for like almost 5 minutes. This is a 95-minute movie,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we spend this long on nothing. It's not funny. It's not cute. The characters aren't finding it really funny. I mean, like I guess Donkey makes a joke or Puss in Boots makes a joke. Someone makes a joke at one point, but then
Well, if Puss in Boots puts the hat down, and Donkey
oh,
like,
puts
put
his
your
hat
damn
down.
hat back
Put
on.
your damn hat back
I forget what he said
on.
exactly.
Yeah, he took his hat down and then he woke up again and then he was like, put your hat back
You
on.
fool, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think
but
maybe I think I liked that part. I feel like that was the
yeah.
peak of the comedy in this movie.
I mean, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Considering that you have Eric Idle, a voice a character in this film, who is probably I don't want to say he's my favorite character because Merlin was kind of awful in this movie, but I I heard Eric Idle and I was like, haha, Monty Python, good times, laughy, fun, happy, fun times, and then I didn't get any of that,
Hmm.
and I was sad.
Well, yeah. Justin Timberlake is also here.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake is
Mm.
here to stay.
You
Me,
love
I
that
guess.
character? How are you feeling about Artie?
Arthur Pendragon. He's just kind of there. I mean, like, so okay. So basic idea of this film. King. It opens with Prince Charming's down on his luck. So he's like doing dinner theater, and like all the fairy tale characters are like making fun of him, and it just feels that was weird because it felt like bizarrely mean spirited. Like I was like I feel kind of bad for Prince Charming because he's an ass, but like he doesn't deserve that any of that. Like
Right.
that was terrible.
Everybody hates him now.
Everyone just hates
Yeah.
him. But so he starts like kind of wants to rise up, like do a revolution of all of the villains of fairy tale universe people.
Well,
So
I do like in the beginning when they play and it goes into the play and it plays like the
yeah,
same music like they did
yeah,
before. I was like,
in
oh,
the
am I
previous
watching the
film.
same movie again?
Yeah, it was. I think he was. I think the difference is. I mean, he didn't have a helmet on. I think he might have been traveling the opposite way too.
Yeah.
I,
I'm
I'd,
like,
I'd have
I'm
to.
like,
I'd
oh,
have to.
we're retreading again? How is this
Yeah,
happening? Oh, yeah, that's the play.
it's like yeah, it's like dinner theater or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like yeah. So
But he gets to the heart of these freaking the villains. And he's like, you never got your happily ever after. Basically wins them over that way.
Yeah. So it's like, well, we should take over far, far away, and then we can that can happen. Yeah. And then that subplot kind of like goes away for about 20 minutes, and then so Shrek and Fiona are taking care of the kingdom in the stead of the king, who is ailing. It's ailing health. Right. Shrek is not having a good time.
Which then brings another like montage. They really overdo the montage, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah.
Because that was like the thing at the beginning of every Shrek movie. You have some sort of montage.
Yeah.
A little musical number plays, and then they do their thing. The shenanigans are happening. Shrek literally kills a guy when he's trying to
he kills it. So
like, oh, and then he destroys an entire boat.
It destroys an entire boat. So one thing I was actually a little surprised by about this entire movie, unfortunately, it is okay. So I'll state it: not as many pop culture references as I was expecting. However, it is offset by just probably double the amount of like inserted pop songs. Okay. So like the references in the humor or the jokes or the writing isn't as prevalent, I didn't think. But it was offset by like just musical number after musical number that I just didn't care about. And
a lot of cliches.
Yes.
And like the stupid stereotypes, like especially when you go into the freaking Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Yeah. Worcestershire, which is Worcester is
into the stupid high school.
Oh my god! So okay, I was actually kind of with the movie for a bit, for up until that point. I was actually kind of with the movie. I was like, I haven't really laughed, and I hated the friggin' live and let die. Like we talked about, like the death scene. That was like the stupid. I was literally in front of my, and I was like, what? It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not even like. I don't even know what the point of that was. It was like, haha, James Bond theme, funny joke. And I was like...
And then they put him in a ye old Foot Locker box.
Yeah.
And it drifted him off.
I was like, it just felt so bizarre. It was so weird. It was just very weird. So anyway, before the king dies, he tells Shrek that... He's like, Shrek, you need to take over. You and Fiona need to take over. And Shrek's like, no way. Screw that. I was like, I'm not having a good time, and I'm
your
terrible.
Deathbed, you're making jokes. Huh?
Yeah, and he's like, no, I'm an ogre. An ogre would be terrible at being king. And so he's like, well, there is another heir because he has a nephew or something, or it's like a cousin, distant relation, or something, and that's Arthur. So they go on a journey to find Arthur. Before Shrek leaves, Fiona has been dropping a lot of hints throughout the movie, but she then tells him, hey, I'm pregnant. Mm-hmm. And so then that's like a whole new subplot.
That's a whole sequence, too. That's a whole scene.
Yeah, with her trying to tell him.
Yeah.
He's just so dumb. It's like, that was another, it's like, here's the thing. The jokes are all about wasting your time. It's like they use rule of threes, but none of them are jokes worth telling. So it's like, why make the joke to begin with?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and the thing is, they do those jokes, but then at the end of it, you get the result anyway. So it's not like he never hears that she's pregnant.
Yeah,
he just takes her 3 times of repeating it, to then he hears it.
Which to me, I think it would have been. I mean, she didn't like show being pregnant at all throughout the whole like period. I mean, maybe it's just because she's an ogre, and ogres don't show.
It's a known thing
that they're pregnant. Yeah, didn't you know ogres don't show when they're pregnant? I mean, that's neither here nor there. I think it would have been kind of funny or a more interesting twist if when they came back, she had already had a baby. But, because or the triplets, I guess is what she had. That would have been more.
What if she popped out like one baby every few scenes?
I mean, that would be interesting.
Every time you turn
just
around,
keep coming out. There's another baby. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah, sure. Who knows? Ogres probably have weird reproduction. It's like whatever. Yeah. So that happens. So then Shrek's like having to deal with that, and I was kind of on board. I was like, okay, so we got like Prince Charming scheming and plotting. That could be fun. That could be interesting. And then we got Shrek going on a journey to find this person, but now he has to grapple with the idea of fatherhood. And I was like, that's a little weird and complicated, but that like.
And he is terrified. He is terrified of babies. He
Yeah,
has a baby nightmare.
The baby nightmare, which I think that was okay. I've seen worse. I've seen worse like dream sequences. That one was like cliche, but you know. And I was thinking, okay, so when he finds Arthur, there could be like maybe he learns to sort of be a father or something through that, or maybe he has to. And I will say there are elements of that, but the movie never like really outright says, "Hey Shrek, you would be a great father because look how well you did with Artie." This doesn't really ever do that. It's kind of a missed opportunity, like the entire movie. So then they get to friggin' Worcestershire, and I was like, "Oh no, I hate this. I hate this so much."
It's literally just a high school, like just high school stereotypes. This is what this location is. It's just
the one visual reference that I enjoyed was there was like one of the hallways or the locker rooms was just straight out of Harry Potter.
Okay.
It was just one of the hallways they used at I think King's College in Cambridge. It's just the same hallway. I was like, oh, I know that hallway really well. I was like, that's fun. And then I had to watch the rest of it, and it was really bad.
Yeah. They're just the typical like popular girl thing and the mean girl
Guinevere,
trope.
Yeah.
And she's like totally Ewith. They did that a couple times.
And there was also like some girl that was like hitting on Shrek.
Yeah,
something. She's like, yeah, my friend is like totally into like older guys and mythical creatures or whatever. And I was like, this is Shrek is like, who knows how old he is? He could be like 55 for all we know. It's like, it's weird.
Well, he didn't reciprocate. It's just
but it was still weird.
But that's like another. I mean, these are all like tropes of the schools, like that hot teacher or whatever. Yeah. But
I'm cool with the hot for teacher trope, but like it was still like weird.
Did you like your D&D friend's portrayal on the big screen here?
No, it was stupid. It wasn't funny. I mean, I did. So one of the wrinkles of that I liked was the fact that they were like beating up Arthur. Like that was kind of funny because Arthur's such a loser. He's not even cool to them. But like none of that goes anywhere really. It's all just sort of like happens, and then immediately Arthur's like, "Hey, I'm a king. Screw y'all," and then leaves. And we never see any of those characters ever again.
Yeah.
Also, and I was like, Lancelot coming along would have been kind of interesting because Lancelot was like a dude bro.
Yeah, did you see who Lancelot was voiced by in the credits?
No, I missed that. Who was it?
John Krasinski.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is during The Office too. This is 2007.
2007, yeah.
Oh.
He's just in there. I'm like,
he's just
looking in the credits because they had these like surprise roles in these Shrek movies that get thrown in there. So like, oh, maybe there's interesting people in there. It's like you got Justin Timberlake, and then just John Krasinski as Lancelot, who was there for like 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, to me the standout name is Eric Idle because I grew up watching Monty Python's Flying Circus and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So that humor is like that's like my thing. It's very funny to me. But like they just don't use Eric Idle well at all. He's just like, he's just like goofy Merlin, and that's basically it. It's just weird. Just weird. I was like, oh, Eric Idle, and he doesn't do anything clever or fun.
And they had the whole scene sometime after this where they had all the people coming in their brooms, all these the villains.
Yes. Yep.
And they just ruin far away.
Yeah, so they immediately like come in and ruin everything. Oh, I think this is like during Fiona has like a little baby shower where all the like for some reason
I hate this.
Yeah, I hated it. For some reason Gingy and Pinocchio were there.
And the
dragon was there.
The wolves and the pigs were they there too? The wolf and the pigs.
The wolf and the pigs, like they covered up for them. I don't remember them actually like being present in the shower. But so we have all of the fairy tale princesses show up, and they're like the worst characters in the movie somehow. So we have Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White, and then the Queen, Harold, and what was Fiona's mom's name? I don't even remember.
I always forget.
We'll just call her Geraldine.
Sure.
We'll just call her Mary. So so that whole shower scene was just like dumb and stupid, and it was like,
And just the way that they've forced all these princesses as characters onto us. And I mean, they also really pushed Pinocchio, Gingy, the pigs. Like, these are all going to be characters, whether you like it or not. They're here.
yeah,
They're
it's like
just
here
going to
they
kind of be
are.
there.
Then so they invade, and then so it's the three little pigs, Pinocchio, Gingy, and the big bad wolf are all there to sort of like divert. We're gonna divert their attention away, and then I did like, so okay, this is one thing that I thought was fun, which was Pinocchio's way of not telling a lie, which was basically just convoluted. I'm not saying I didn't say that he wasn't here exactly, and I didn't say I didn't know where he wasn't going. So it was like all that sort of thing. And the three little pig, one of the little pigs, just like told anyway. He was like, "Oh, they escaped,"
Yeah.
because he's just sick of it. And I was like, "Oh."
But why doesn't Pinocchio just not talk? Like,
Why doesn't Pinocchio just not exist?
Like, his voice is really annoying. As he was going through the whole bit, I was like, oh, I don't like that voice. But
I don't like. Yeah,
if you just stop talking, you can't lie then.
I want to say like the director or Andrew Adamson voices him, which is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please don't voice any cartoon characters ever again, sir.
Oh yeah, and then during this whole scene, they turn a ye old bootery into ye old hooters. Did you know like that?
I missed. I know. I think I missed that.
Really?
I saw Versace or whatever
Versace,
but this time, yeah, Versace, and I was like, yeah, okay, there's that. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. But
there's a ye old booteries sign, and they knocked down
ye
the
old
letters
hooters
and changed it into hooters. And then there's like some gnomes or something running there, like, yeah.
Oh, there was some other things in it that there were some other jokes in it. I was like, they're being a little bit more blatant than they were before. Oh, it was actually the horn thing. It's like, well, you sure are. When after he learns that he's gonna be a dad, and then Puss in Boots is like, well, you sure you're I think it was like, you're royally. Yeah. So I was like,
also, Shrek told a story to Artie at one point when they're having a little heart to heart, and he says that his father tried to eat him. So is this canon now? Is he telling the truth? His father actually tried to eat him?
Yeah. Why that was so weird? Yeah. So okay, it was weird. So we had like backstory for Shrek, which we never really needed, and they started giving it, and it was like, yeah, was that like a real thing?
You used to bathe me in barbecue sauce, and
so, but they didn't go far enough. Like none of it, all of these ideas that they have were all super half baked. You could have had some interesting thing with Shrek being like, I don't trust myself to be a good father because of how my father raised me. All we get is like a tiny little story about, yeah, my father tried to eat me.
Mm-hmm. And it was like made off as a joke.
Yeah.
But it was also, I think it was supposed to be serious.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, okay, you got it pretty rough. That is worse.
Yeah.
But
and it was
that could be a whole other movie right there. There's a spinoff, Shrek Senior.
Yeah. So there could have, it's like we have so many different plot threads, and none of them really amount to much of anything. So they finally convinced Merlin to teleport them. Then we have a body switching trope, which was so bad and not funny, and they didn't do anything with it. Again, they don't do anything with like any of this stuff.
There was no stakes because he literally tells them that whatever effects happen, it'll wear off. So it's like, it's not like, oh, will they be stuck forever? No, it's just gonna wear off. They're just gonna have a couple of gags out of it, I guess.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere.
Land.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that always kind of bothers me about those body switching things is like, what. Sometimes I understand like why they retain the voice. Mm-hmm. As a member of the audience, it's to convey that because people watching movies are stupid, so they convey that to us in that way. So like the voice switching in Harry Potter and the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and I think they continued to use it throughout the rest of the movies because it was like, well, they made it canon there, so now we have to. Whereas like if you're actually taking the form of the other person, you speak with their voice. and again, I get it. It's like it's the film language thing because it's like, well, wait, why is I thought he switched into him? Why is he speaking in his voice now? It's like it's to because it's to pander to the dum dums in the audience. I get it, but it always bothers me because it's like to me it's way more interesting for an actor to have to pretend to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Like a different character, but they're trying to put on that it's levels of acting that's more interesting. And I think there was something recently where there was in one of the Marvel films, Loki pretends to be one of the other characters. I think it might be Captain America, and he was actually on record saying like I was very like kudos to Chris Evans for his portrayal of me because it was great. I mean, he pretended to be Loki basically.
And I mean, The Haunting of Bly Manor, they had to create stuff where when they're the kid has to pretend to be like one of the adults.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and that was just a kid doing that. Like, and it's great. Yeah. So that's it's kind of a nitpick, but that's something that's always bothered me, and it even bothers me in the Harry Potter films too.
It's more just a body swap trope being there. Really didn't like it, but
well, yeah,
just
another just that too.
Cliche to add on to. It just felt like a lot of cliches and stereotypes pushed together in this movie, but
yeah.
And then you had the whole with the princesses scene. You had Rapunzel ultimately betraying the princesses. She wants to be queen
for some reason. Because she wanted to be queen, I guess.
Also,
but
she talked about a rigged election. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where one of the princesses was like, "Oh, you're just jealous that I was voted the fairest of them all," and Rapunzel was like, "That was a rigged election."
Okay. All right. She's a trumper. She's an always trumper. She's a trump or die.
Yeah, they were teasing it. They were teasing.
Yeah, they were teasing. Yeah, so but the switch kind of like, I mean, I guess it was foreshadowed because she was like, yeah, you'll need the marital counseling or whatever because it's because you two won't be happy ever again because you're having a baby or something. There was some weird off comment she made during the baby shower. So it's like, I guess that was the foreshadowing that she's bad, even though at that point she just seemed like she was just really catty. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, she's like evil, and I was like, oh, okay.
He's evil, but I didn't care about any of the princesses,
regardless
of whether they're evil or not. I was like, I don't feel betrayed by this.
Yeah, I didn't feel care. So they all get kidnapped, and then they break out like in the easiest way possible, and that whole scene was really stupid.
You love that? You didn't love that scene where
you love this scene where they're like where they're toughing out. And the bra burning, and it was like
they burned the bra.
What the? Because bra burning was like a big feminist thing in like the 80s. But like, what is it doing in this movie? It wasn't funny. It was just random and stupid.
It was kind of funny that there were like, ladies, assume your positions, and they were getting ready to be rescued because that's all they were used to.
Yeah.
But then it's just suddenly they were fully capable, I guess.
And then another one of my least favorite things in the movie, which was, again, I mentioned it earlier, the overuse of like licensed music. We use Immigrant Song, and then it immediately goes into Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother, and I was like,
Barracuda, baby. It's like,
oh no, maybe that was it. No, that was it. It was Immigrant Song into Barracuda. They used Wolfmother earlier. They used Joker and the Thief earlier, which didn't make sense. Because that song is not.
Which song
anyway.
Is that?
I don't remember the lyrics, but wait, I'm not going no.
When did you use that one?
I think it was when all of the villains were invading far away. I think that's. Don't you see the Joker flying over? I don't think they went that far into the song, though.
Okay.
As he dances in the field of clovers.
But they didn't really pile on the licensed music, but it's just like they really want to drill into your head like this is a part of Shrek's DNA. There needs to be healthy
like
licensed music in every movie.
It was just, but it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. I just didn't like any of it. I mean, going back to friggin' Shrek 1, all of the licensed music in that, while, yeah, overdone, it felt a lot more part of that movie than it did in either of the other two, I
Well, I thought
thought.
Shrek 2 was better for it, but
Well, Shrek 2, I think Shrek 2 probably used less. I want to say it used less. You had in the beginning, there was probably a scene I'm forgetting in the middle that used some. And then you had the I Need a Hero.
they had changes.
Oh yeah, they had changes,
But
and
I,
then they also had Funky Town. But
yeah,
that's what I mean. Those kind of fit.
that's what I'm saying. I thought it was better in Shrek
Those kind
2,
of fit
yeah.
in the movie, and that's why I didn't even complain about it like last time. I think I probably said, licensed music gets overused, but like it didn't feel. While I complained about it in that movie, it feels way more part of that movie, like the fabric of the movie. In this, it stood out so much more, particularly because also the credit song was just this really lazy, like just them over a black screen, and there's just Donkey and Puss in Boots singing, and it was like it feels like other animated films that do that now got it from Shrek 3, and it's just super lazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just have to animate character models. They don't need to have any perspective. They're just singing a pop song and they can do whatever they want with them. But it's like at least with Believer and Livin' La Vida Loca, they actually animated a full scene with that, which takes time and
Mm-hmm.
effort. I mean, it takes time and effort to do it with the other thing, just like 95% less. So
Yeah, and I mean, they overused some, like the jokes didn't land, and they overused some, like they did too far away jokes. That I noticed. I remember that where it was like, we're gonna go far away, and then I forget who else. I think maybe Artie said it too. I'm gonna go far away now
yeah, I'm going far away. Yeah,
from you.
from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I got him. You already
I
got
think
him.
Donkey might have mentioned far away too at some
Yeah,
point. Like it was like
it was
we
weird.
just need one, just need one of that.
So they like I guess they Shrek when they show up they like basically turn themselves in or they get captured like immediately. I think they just get captured immediately, and then Shrek is like, Artie, you're a loser, blah blah blah. And he's just like he just like doubles down on everything that all his insecurities or whatever. Um,
So they
and so
could get out of there.
we could get out of there, but like it was weird to me. It was weird because it felt like again they were trying to do the Shrek 1 thing where it was like this emotional moment, but it was like why is Shrek saying why is Shrek saying these things? He's just kind of doubling down again on that. It's like that's kind of weird. And then Donkey and Puss in Boots are like, no, he was saying that to save you because you said you're the heir to the throne. But then Shrek was like, no, he's not. He's a loser.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, yep, got it. But
Yeah.
then so then he runs back, but I don't even think he really even mattered at all to the conclusion because Shrek beats Prince Charming like super easily. By beats, I mean so Prince Charming apparently just wants to, or King Charming at this point, wants to slay Shrek in the same fashion in which he was like always beaten by him in the musical theater thing that he did. So him and Rapunzel put on this like really gaudy, stupid play thing that I don't even know.
Yeah, I didn't like even when
Any,
they were going through the little play bit. I didn't like that.
yeah, so it's like I guess it's because Prince Charming is supposed to be like full of himself and self-important or whatever. This is like, why didn't you just kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't you just
Yeah,
kill
and then
him?
did Shrek kill Charming there at the end? Is he dead?
I don't know. It was
He dropped a
unclear.
tower on him, but
Yeah, he dropped a tower on him.
it's not supposed to be like a heavy duty thing, right? It's like a play.
That one looked more heavy duty than the
It
play
looked,
one.
yeah, but it was in a play. Like it shouldn't have been, but it just
Yeah,
seemed to kill him, and it was like, oh, that's fun. Everybody's happy.
yeah.
Charming's dead.
So like everyone shows up and beats the bad guys super easily, and then I guess I'm trying to remember. I can't. I'm trying to remember because I can't remember exactly. Like, so how did they call off all the rest of the villains for not getting their happily ever? Oh, doesn't Arthur speaks to them? That's why. That's right. He sort of speaks up and is like, no, I can.
You guys don't have to be villains.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically.
So so Arthur like rises up and becomes the one true king. So he gets it. So it's like, okay.
Well, that's when they saw him doing that, it was like, see,
Yeah.
see, Artie, you'll be a great king.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so then Shrek is like, all right. And then they go back to the swamp and they have children.
And then babies.
And that's
the
the end of the
baby
movie.
sequence.
So okay, so that to me is like, all right, so the movie seemed to have been leading into a different thread than that. Like it seemed to me it was set up that the king was like, no, you Shrek and Fiona, you two need to leave the kingdom. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be sad for Shrek not to live in a swamp anymore or whatever, and because Shrek hated it. But it seemed to me to be like almost like you need to learn to, maybe not learn to like where you are or whatever, even though you hate it. But it seemed to like look for the good in things that you may not be enjoying. But it's like, no, that wasn't really a lesson. It was just like, go find the one true king kid he will then learn that lesson, I guess. And then you learn to be a good father, ?
Mm-hmm.
Like he just sort of accepted it after all the trepidation, and I'm not really sure.
I think he worked his way up to it. They showed moments throughout the whole thing where he kept seeing people with kids, or then we see
right. So okay, that's right. I actually totally forgot about that. Was actually a really effective moment. Now that you mentioned it, you did remind me. I totally forgot about that. So like the moment where the Cyclops guy and his little girl, that was actually a really good moment. Now that I remember it, that was actually pretty effective.
Yeah, where he's like,
I still think it could have.
I
still think it could have been conveyed like 100% better.
But I mean, I think they were getting the idea across. Like he was slowly growing accustomed to it, because he sees not only in that moment, but he sees several different parts where some sort of fatherhood elements or parents involved in different things, and then the way he's like growing to care about Artie and whatnot, and he's like, okay, maybe I can do this.
Yeah, I just didn't. I never felt that any of the threads really connected at all. It was all just sort of like a bunch of disparate ideas that never really came. Nothing ever really came together in the way that like subplots are all supposed to converge and meet one another. And I never felt that ever really happened. I mean, that's the problem. So to use Star Wars as an example, episodes 5 and 6 have that. 6 maybe bites off a little more than it can chew because it's doing like 3 things at once. But then that's the problem that episode 1 has, where despite the fact that all of them are self-reliant on each other, you never get a sense that like any of them really connect to each other than like the droid ship. So you have the Jedis fighting Darth Maul. You have Anakin in his little racer going and fighting the space guys. And you have Queen Amidala doing the invasion. And then you have the Gungans doing the battle outside.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them like really connect especially well. And it's just jarring and tonally dissonant and weird. And I guess it's not, I wouldn't say necessarily that it's tonally dissonant, but none of the threads converge at all, and it's a very unsatisfying end to the movie. I felt, even though it's like, yeah, Charming gets his comeuppance, but like, I didn't care about anything that was going on in the movie.
Yeah, I felt like you didn't care about any of the threads, really. Especially when like they throw all these characters at you, like they throw the princesses at you, like they're supposed to be a big thing, this whole, girl squad idea, but then it's like, you have the villains, which they throw in there, like 2 seconds with each of them, where you're supposed to like grow attached to them in some way, I guess. And then like all these side characters, the Pinocchios and everything. Okay, they're all just kind of there, but I don't really care about them. I did like the little moment with Rumpelstiltskin, where he was like, "What's stopping you? It's you!" And he points at Rumpelstiltskin. They're all ready to kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I mean all of you individually.
Yeah. Now you do mention it. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That might be the funniest part, actually.
It probably was. It's you. Rumpelstiltskin. He even Prince Charming couldn't even remember his name. Called him like Thumblebiltskin or something like it. Something weird. He's like, it's Rumpelstiltskin.
And I mean, Artie. Ultimately, I didn't really care that much about Artie. It's like
No.
he was just the kid that was bullied. That's pretty much all his character was.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right. I mean, he was nice kid. He's a
I,
nice
I
kid.
feel I felt like if they cut down on a lot of the side characters and just focused on charming plot. I mean, you could have even done something with like fathers and sons there. Prince Charming could have had who was Prince Charming's dad? Do we even know?
We don't know because we only know about the fairy godmother.
Fairy
right?
godmother. There could have been something interesting there. You know, they could have done something like where
theme,
where like his insecurities come from that or something, like his estranged relationship with his father or something.
Mm-hmm.
And gotten rid of all the like the silly princess thing, all the other side characters. So then it could have been a thing about like Shrek learning to sort of like having to like deal with his past with his own father, realizing that he's coming sort of working as a father figure to Artie, and then also the sort of the revelation around him. I think I think that's what they were trying to go for, but there's just so much other crap that gets in the way that just doesn't work.
Like, I feel like instead of just like murdering Prince Charming at the end there, maybe there could have been some sort of redemption there, right?
Yeah.
Tie it into the theme some way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's just like we kill him, it's all good.
All right.
But
go back to the swamp, and here we go.
And then the tradition of Shrek movies is to always end with a musical number. This time they integrated it into the credits, though. So they had the little, all the characters singing within the credits instead of a whole scene.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. I didn't much. Yeah. I didn't really like the song. I don't remember what the song is. I remember I just didn't like it very much.
I don't remember either, but I remember liking it. So how's that?
Okay, well, I mean that's a different perspective. So yeah.
All right, well that's that. I am going to give a 6 out of 10. It's my score. I think I feel like that's an appropriate position to put it, considering 7.5 for Shrek. I feel like this is significantly worse than that. You know,
I'm gonna go lower. I don't think I'm gonna go as low as I was thinking earlier, because I don't think I hate this movie, but it's not very good, and I don't think I didn't really have a good time watching it. I'm going to give it like what I gave, funnily enough, what I gave The Phantom Menace, 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Okay.
But the problem, it's because I think, again, I like some of the concepts. I think they had a lot of good ideas there. None of them worked, and the movie wasn't funny. But I still give them credit for at least trying to have some ideas that might have amounted to something if they worked a little harder on that whole concept.
Hmm. So Tarqaron score 5.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not very good.
Right. Seems right. But see, if we can go now, if we could bottom out here and then maybe come up with the next couple of movies, then maybe we're talking. Good series here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, better than I expected. I mean, I liked Shrek 2 more than I thought I was going to. I already said that. I did.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't give it the masterpiece score that you did, but I hold it on a similar regard as Shrek 1, which I didn't think I would going into this. I thought I was going to go steadily lower, but
so we might have bottomed out here. I really don't think Shrek Forever After will be worse than this. I don't think that's possible.
I don't think so either. I've actually had friends tell me that they were actually surprised at how much they enjoyed Shrek Forever After in comparison.
I mean, I enjoyed it at the time, but I was young, so I don't remember.
Right.
Shrek the Third is my most watched movie of all time. So
yeah, and you gave it a 6. So, yeah.
But it is disturbing. The Shrek Forever After promotional poster is very disturbing. He's got a troll doll involved. It's like a guy with troll doll hair. It's very, very concerned. But
that was Shrek the Third was?
Shrek Forever After.
Oh, Shrek Forever After. So remind me, did Shrek the Third have the babies as marketing?
Oh yeah, I meant to mention this. 100%, they did.
I remember that too, and that's why I thought they were going to be in the movie way earlier than the last 3 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Granted, they appear sort of as in the dream sequence, the nightmare sequence. But other than that,
sure they pushed it pretty heavily, the whole baby thing. And I don't know if it was this movie or the next movie when they had I think it was Happy Meals where I got little Shrek babies that you hit the button on the back and they burp. And they go, ugh.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like they did push it though. I mean, this picture that I chose for the background here has a little baby with Shrek, a couple babies, and that was one of the pictures when it first came out. So it's like the whole pregnancy plot line. It was like people were going into this movie thinking that you're gonna have babies, but you only have the idea of babies until the very end. So it's weird. Because it's him struggling with fatherhood, even though the whole movie was presented as it's gonna have babies.
Yeah, because like, and then you could have even then you could have done something more interestingly, like when she had the baby. Maybe she had the babies like in the first act of the film. It was like surprise, and then it's like him grappling with like I wasn't expecting this to be a father. I don't know if I'm cut out for this sort of thing, and then that ties into like his relationship with Artie. There's all kinds of different things I feel like they could have gone on that would just have gone in a better, more interesting direction in terms of a plot. But
well, Shrek Forever After, we're gonna have babies probably. So
we're gonna have babies. Yeah.
We had the donkey dragon babies that really didn't do anything. It seemed like they teased it in the last one, and they were just kind of there for a couple scenes. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least they didn't overdo it.
Yep.
We'll see what they do with the next one.
With those creepy abominations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come back next week for Shrek Forever After. And then we got Puss in Boots, Shrek the Musical, and all the Shrek shorts.
And the Shrek shorts. So we still got a lot of Shrek ahead of us. And then we're going to review every Shrek video game.
But I mean, the next, there are a lot of, like I said, there's a random Shrek 2 game that I never knew existed.
So many. Even just for the first movie. They had like 3 Game Boy Advance games, like 2 Game Boy Color games, a bunch of console games. Like, remember I mentioned Fairy Tale Freakdown, and you were like,
"Yeah, and it's a real thing." Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it was a Game Boy Color game. So yeah,
Shrek is a pop culture icon. He made waves.
Oh, he's something
in every medium he made waves.
Maybe was it Shrek the Third that had a bunch of the like? Maybe it was Shrek 2 that had like all the like Shrek condiments where like everything was green and like slime or whatever. There was a lot of marketing for these movies is like out of this world. Like I remember that there was so many promotional tie-in, like your Happy Meals or your Burger King meals and your Heinz products, you know. So
I mean, the next few weeks of reviews we have here, we're going in wildly different directions each time. Yeah. So of Shrek Forever After, which is the end of like the Shrek regular saga as we know, and then we have the spin-off Puss in Boots, and then we have Shrek the Musical, which is all live action, and then we have all the Shrek shorts, which is this chaos. But Shrek 5 is in the works, right? Isn't it? Is that that's happening?
I think it's got to be, right? I will also say as an addendum, I think Cameron Diaz has gotten better in every film as a voice actress. So I know I was very critical of her in the first movie, but I think she's actually pretty good in this. So
yeah,
as good as you can be for Shrek, you know.
Gingy was more present in this movie. Also, like they had a whole his life flashed before his eyes moment. That was something. That happened.
Also, was it just me, or was Shrek's like face model different in this movie? There was a lot more underbite, I felt like, in this movie. I saw a lot more of his bottom teeth. Like I saw way more crooked bottom teeth in this movie than I'd remembered in the previous ones. But maybe that's.
But I did say last time that they didn't get into the face as much, and then immediately in this movie you're right in the face because they did that whole scene where they made them up to be all royal looking, and they really got in there in that scene. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, that's it. So come back next week. Wild Ride continues. What video would you recommend our viewers go watch now?
Oh, you should go check out our review of Doolittle. That is a movie I do actively hate, as opposed to this movie.
Definitely worse than this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah.
This movie was not good. It was not good, but I can't say I hated it.
Yeah.
So
thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to our podcast feed. Hit the notification bell. leave a comment, like the video, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook, Tarqaron TWO. All right.